what's up everybody, Rivera94 for another action figure review. Today we're going to take a look at the SH Figuarts Vegeta Bandai Tamashii Nations figure, Dragon Ball Z of course. Not a reissue as many might think. This is a remake, an updated version of this Vegeta figure. Many of you guys know who have been collecting this line for a while now. We've gotten this Vegeta before, and this is supposedly an updated version. Is it an upgrade or is it a downgrade? We don't know yet. We're going to take a look at that once we open him up. First and foremost, here's the new packaging. We have a nice looking, picture of him on the front there. This is, of course, the updated packaging that we got. I think last year they started doing this packaging. And then here's the side. We do have some pictures of him. There is the back where we have him next to Nappa down here. And that most anticipated figure this year has to be Nappa. I've been waiting for Nappa since 2012, I think it was, when they teased him without the armor. And since then they updated him with armor and all that. I am stoked for Nappa. You guys have no idea. He is one of my favorite villains of Dragon Ball Z. And I don't know why. I know he's one of the weakest, but he just has always been one of my favorite ones. My favorite figure from Irwin was the Nappa figure. So since I was a kid, I always liked Nappa for some reason. But anyways, excited for him and having these two together. But today we're focusing on the new armored Vegeta. Alright, and before we get started with this review, I just wanted to mention that you guys can get this figure at agelessgeeks.com. Don't forget to use the promo code ERivera94, just my name, ERivera94, and you'll get 5% off any of your purchases. It doesn't have to be this figure, but if you guys want to get a little bit of a discount on something, then there's that. Saiyan Armor Vegeta 2.0 out of package. He actually came in the package with crossed arms. I think this is probably one of the first times that they have a figure package with crossed arms already attached, and the regular arms are detached separately. But he seems to come with similar, if not the same exact accessories that the original came with. I can't say that it is less accessories because the original did come with effects and a stand too. So it had a flight stand and it had blast effects with it. This one does not come with any of that stuff at all. So we just have hands, we just have faces, another head, arms, and a tail. We're going to get into that right now, I guess, since we're talking about it. They gave us another head, so you don't have to just use the same hair. So this is great. This is great if you guys want to put him on a regular body or another body to have a powered down Vegeta. I'm going to try that later on in the video, but here we can take a look at this face. This is more smirking Vegeta right there. We do have a neutral, serious face on the figure itself. We do have a more angry Vegeta, as well as a powering up or a blasting effect Vegeta as well. There's that. And then of course we do have the regular arms. So he comes with the regular arms and they come detached like that. An extended tail, so you can have it wrapped around his body or you can have it loose, just like the original did. We have a separate scouter. This is interesting. He has a scouter on him right now, and we have a separate scouter. This scouter is not detailed. It doesn't have anything on the screen or on the lens, I guess you can say, not the screen. Nothing on the lens. It looks like to be like it's turned off, but it's interesting that they gave us a separate scouter. And I say that because the one on the figure is actually running. You can see the details on there. It's painted. That's one of my most favorite updates to this figure, is that they painted the scouter. That just looks amazing. I like how it shows all that detail right there. That's cool of them to do, but I just wanted you guys to see the detail going on there. The paint that they put on the scouter is just very nice. I like that a lot. While we're here, we can see the face. It's a whole new head sculpt. It's a whole new hair, face, and everything. Everything's sculpted new. Nothing's reused from the original. Nothing at all. So we do have a whole new figure. We also have the famous crushed scouter, of course, for the over 9,000 pose. And then we have the two fists that come already attached to these arms. And then we have open blasting hands. Grabbing hands right there. Alright, so there he is with the regular arms. One of the first things I noticed about this figure was it's a lot more bright, or the colors are more vibrant. They're not as dark as the original one, and it's due to the fact that it's not shaded at all. This figure isn't shaded at all. There's no shading at all. I mean, look at the armor. There's no line work. There's no wash, no shading. You're gonna see a big difference when you see the original. But that's the reason why I noticed something so different about it. It's so drastically different. I know it's a new mold, but just the colors overall is just completely, it's just not washed at all. And I don't know, it might make or break it for some people. We got the head that goes left and right, up and down. There is a little bit of a neck articulation there, but it's, you know, it doesn't move that much, honestly. The arms go forward and back, in and out. They actually go 360 degrees. Biceps swivel, double jointed elbows, swivel at the wrist with a hinge on that ball jointed hinge. And one of the new features or the updates on this figure is the shoulder pads are actually on hinges this time. So they just hinge up and down as so. The original were on ball pegs that allowed them to pop off really easy, and they got really annoying. So I say this is a great upgrade. The fact that they are hinged and they really can't come off unless you really yank them off. And that's it. So we do have a diaphragm joint thanks to the new articulation mold here. So we have that. Once you go up too far, it gets a little ugly there. The gap, it gets huge. So you're going to want to keep that down. There is a waist swivel, also a swivel at that diaphragm joint as well. So 2 swivels there at the torso. So lifting up the armor here, as we see, it's the same exact thing as the original. They're on hinges, so they all hinge up and down. But here this unveils the new articulation there. We're all familiar with this now. Is the new leg joints, the new crotch part of the, you know, the figures that they've been doing lately. So we have the legs going forward and back as so. They go in and out. They swivel at the thigh. They no longer drop down because of this new articulation. And then we do have a double jointed knee right there. Ankles do swivel left and right. They pivot. They go forward and back. They have a toe joint right there, and that's it. So there you have the articulation for the new updated Vegeta. Something that I don't like about mine, that if you look at the hinge right there on the armor, there is some paint scuff, paint rubbing off. And before I proceed to the comparison, I just wanted to mention, I should have mentioned this earlier, is look at the legs. They have been fixed, as we all remember. Those who own the original Saiyan Armor Vegeta had the leg problem on the right leg. I believe it was the right leg for everybody. Seriously, this was one of the most loose figures I've ever owned in my life. Well, let's get the comparison going. Let's get the original Saiyan Armor Vegeta in here, and he is standing thanks to the trick that I did on that figure to fix him. But anyways, look at the difference. Holy cow, guys, look at the difference. Insane difference. Huge difference. So as I stated already with the shading, big thing here is the color, the shading. I believe they shaded the original figure a lot better. They colored him a lot better than this new figure. I think that part of the original is better. Of course, the quality, as in the looseness of joints and all that, it's worse on the original. So go for the new one on that one. But in terms of color, I believe that the original has way better color than this new one. Now, that being said, the new one I believe has better sculpting. The faces are better in my opinion, even though the original did have good faces as well. I'm not saying it didn't, but if I had to choose one, I'd go with the new updated head sculpt and face sculpts. I think they look awesome, and the updated Scouter also is great too. So on that category, I think the new one wins there. In terms of articulation, they both are articulated pretty much the same exact way. Even though there's a new updated articulation mold down on the legs on the new one, the old one can pull off all the exact poses that this one can do, if not maybe even better. So with that said, there you go. There's the two next to each other. You can see a serious amount of orangey color on the face on the original, which isn't too bad, but once you compare them next to each other, it kind of looks kind of crazy, like he got suntanned a lot. This is the leg that is loose, and you can also, I mean, really see the difference in the shading there in the legs. A lot better shading on the original, shading on the boots as well. And the armor piece, the only thing I wish they could have done with the new one is at least shaded the armor, and I've seen people already shade their own new figure already. I wish they would have done these lines on the new one. That would have made it that much better. I think just the lines and that's it. You don't really need to go all out. My guess on this is that I think they purposely left out the shading. That's my guess, you know. And I think it's due to this exclusive. I think they wanted to keep the shading to the exclusive one and all this and that. But who knows, I could be wrong. Normal head on the Trunks armored body. And it looks pretty decent, not bad at all. This body is a little bit taller though. Now that's the Super Saiyan Vegeta body, so there's the difference there. In the end, this truly wasn't a necessary release for them to do. This wasn't needed. I believe the original one was good enough. This is a fantastic figure to get if you guys never got the original. Seriously. If you guys missed out on the original release, or if you guys are just not satisfied enough with the original because of the looseness of the joints and all that, and you're just fed up with it, then get this figure. Seriously, it is missing the shading, but I believe that is an easy fix. I know it's unnecessary for us to be doing, but it's an easy fix. It really is. Black wash can be found anywhere, and you can at least black wash the lines, and it'll look that much better. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Go ahead and leave a like, comment, subscribe if you guys would like, or if you just like Dragon Ball Z, why not? And don't forget to use the promo code ERERA94 when you're shopping at agelessgeeks.com. You'll get 5% off figures like this. Alright, and most importantly, don't forget to have a great day. Bye.